Today's collectible spot, we are having a look at the LEGO Ghostbusters set 21108 Ecto-1. Ecto-1, not only do you get the vehicle, but you get all 4 members of the Ghostbusters team. Interesting thing about this set is that I thought it was only going to be an exclusive to the LEGO store. It turns out though, when I was going through Toys R Us, I saw a displayer, a LEGO displayer, which I normally see. I didn't really think too much of it. And I walked by it, and sure enough, right there was a whole stack of these. And Immediately I wanted to pick this up because this has such, well, I'll tell you this when we get the set built together. This has a real soft spot in my heart, and I'll tell you why when we get this opened up. You're looking at 508 pieces, and again you get the main vehicle, the main Ecto-1, and then you get the 4 Ghostbusters. If I flip around the box and try not to drop it, the top of the box shows Stantz, Spangler, Venkman, and Zedmore. Now, it's not a perfect set. One glaring problem that's bothering me, and I'll let you guys know after we get this all put together, but there's the actual size of one of them. There's Egon Spangler. On the back of the package, really nice artwork of the 4 Ghostbusters with Trap crossing the stream. Oh, no. I don't know if they've crossed the stream yet. Oh, yes, they have. Yeah, we're all doomed. And then there is the Ecto-1 on the side there. On the other side, celebrating 30 years, the 30th anniversary of Ghostbusters. That is incredible. You can head over to www.lego.com/ideas for some of the other ideas that are coming out from the folks over at LEGO and you. Having said that, Spot technically has already opened this, but what I am going to do is take a break and get this all put together, put it all on the backdrop, and when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the LEGO Ghostbusters Ecto-1. There's more heading your way, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. Of course, included with the Ecto-1, you get yourself a very beefy instruction guide. Now, granted, not all of it is English. In fact, it seems to offset itself, so we've got a little bit of a read-up on the front. It says, in the early 1980s, an inspired film concept was born. Unleash an ultimate supernatural power on the city of New York and call upon the best comedic talent in Hollywood to save the day. Then throw in great special effects and a talented director. Next comes the blockbuster film that audiences have loved for 30 years, Ghostbusters. Again, it just gives you a brief brief synopsis of the movie. Then shows you the characters involved, Zedmore, Venkman, Stantz, and Spangler. Some screenshots of the movie, which I'll talk about that for a second. And then some images here. We'll talk about that in a second. And then you've got that same thing in French, or Spanish. Again, these same images. And then you've also got it, I guess this is Spanish and the other one was French. There's probably about 3, maybe 4 languages in there. And then finally you've got your builds. And the neat thing about it is, for every page that you're building something, there's a quote from the movie. So, for example, Peter Venkman is, somebody blows their nose and you want to keep it. And then we just flip it over, more building. Down below, Spangler, I collect spores, molds, and fungus. And the whole book is essentially like that. You have building pages, and then you have like little quotes from the movie. Are you troubled by strange noises in the middle of the night? By Stans. And there's the rest of the building. The rest of it is, and then on the back, it's just got LEGO ideas and some other stuff going on there. So, moving the booklet to the side. Now, like I said, it's not a perfect set, but it's a decent enough set that I would say any Ghostbusters fan will definitely want to pick this up. You get 4 minifigures with your Ecto-1. And here is my biggest problem with this set. Right here. This is probably my biggest flaw with this set, is the minifigures. Now, the minifigures are all somewhat dressed the exact same way. There's no question of tucked in boots, not tucked in boots, kind of like in the movie. I mean, they're basically the exact same outfits. Turn around the back of them. There is back printing. Egon, Ray, Peter, Winston. Once again, we flip that around, and each one of them will have a name tag. Now, because it's so small, they couldn't have put Zedmore, Venkman, Stance, and Spangler. So they kind of just abbreviated. They kind of just put their initials down. So like, WZ, PV, RS, ES. The thing that really bothers me, though, about the minifigures, though, is the selection of hair that they've given these characters. I like Egon's. Egon's makes sense. In fact, I mean, all of these hairstyles they've reused from other Lego minifigures. Egon's makes sense because Egon had that kind of high hairstyle going on there, and it's dark, so that makes sense. I like Winston's. His, again, makes sense. My issue, though, is these two right here. Now, when I was putting these together, and actually even looking on the package, when I first was putting them together, I'm thinking there must be some mistake, because on the front, that does not look like Peter Venkman, at least not by the hairstyle. I kind of look at that and I think, oh, that must be Ray Stantz. But nope, sure enough, even in the instructions, Peter Venkman's got they've reused it for Joker and other things like that, and they used it for Doc Brown for the DeLorean, but they've given him that Joker hair. And they've also given him a lighter hair color, and I find it just does not work for Peter Venkman. The thing is, though, like for Peter Venkman, if I was just to take his hair off here, I probably would, because he doesn't really have a lot of hair. I would probably either have given him this hairstyle in that color, and maybe kept Winston bald, or I might have also given him, I'll just take off Ray's, I might have also given him either Ray's as well, and potentially give Ray the lighter brown hair. Now granted, I know Dan Aykroyd doesn't really have that hair color, he's kind of darker in the movie, but I probably would have the team more like this. That's the way I would have, that's probably how I would have them. Ray, Winston, Peter, Ray, and Egon. Equally so, you could have also given, I suppose you could have also given Ray that hairstyle too from Egon, and that also would have worked. But the hair that they gave Peter just does not work for me. So I probably will keep the team like this until I find like maybe a better hairstyle for Peter Venkman. But I just don't find this hairstyle is good for a Peter Venkman. That's just me. They all come in on a display stand. Well, you actually have to build this display stand. And I like that they give you about 3 or 4 of these pieces for the Ghostbusters. So, I don't know if we're ever going to get other Lego sets for Ghostbusters. So, I mean, like, you could reuse this, maybe make, like, the helicopter Ecto, which was that, what, Ecto 2, Ecto 3. But this is neat. I like this. So, you can take any of the figures off. They're just pegged into the top there. I'm just going to take Peter off here for a second. Because essentially, like, their articulation would be the exact same on all of them. And also, they all have reverse printing. They have all printing on the backs of their faces as well. Just to show you Winston. Just flip that around. I guess, really, I could probably have had it like that for Winston. Instead, I gave him the freaked out Winston. And Ray has smiling or nervous Ray. I would have also liked if they had given him like the goggles, the Ecto goggles. And then finally Egon. There's Egon there. So, I mean, like they have a pretty good look to them. It's the hair that's bothering me about these sets. For your accessories, they all come with a proton pack, which again is something else you have to build. I would have expected almost that the proton packs would have been something that would have been pre-molded, pre-done, but Lego just decided instead that it's a piece that you have to build. They give you like the backpack clip. I take this off here. They give you the backpack clip that can go onto the head, neck area, and I'll show you that in a second. And then that just clips onto the back proton pack. The wand can just unpeg, and you can, yeah, again, you can see, I don't know why, get that hair out of the way. You can see how the two come together. I don't like the red either. The red kind of bothers me slightly. I kind of wish that this was just a black or even a gray. But I mean, these kind of pieces you probably have a lot of. You can easily just swap this out for something else. Don't really like the red. They're not bad. I kind of wish that there was a smooth piece that could have gone like right there, you know, just to kind of finish off the backpack. Because like from the back side, the side that you're going to see, it looks almost unfinished. And had they just put like one of the smooth black pieces right there, you know, I think it would have looked a little nicer. But you can take the proton pack. We'll just put that down for a second. Take off Peter's head. Put the proton pack on there. Put on Peter's head again. And bada bing, bada boom, you've got yourself a Ghostbuster, just like that. You can take the proton wand, put it into his hand, and Peter is ready to bust some ghosts. They're good. I mean, they're great minifigures. Like the proton packs are decent. I just wish like this was maybe a little better conceived, like the proton pack. Proton stream would have been neat as well, but it is what it is. So they have 4 proton packs. They're all the exact same. There's nothing different between them at all. I'll put Peter back on his display stand just for a second. He's going to be a little more taking up space because he's got the proton pack on, but just going to peg him in. And other accessories, you get yourself 1 ghost trap, which is pretty much just 2 pieces of Lego. And then like the little clamp piece is just clipped into place, like so. I don't like that they put the grill there instead of just putting a smooth piece of Lego with like the print. I would have liked the black and yellow cross, the diagonal lines across it. I think I would have liked that a little bit more, but it doesn't clip anywhere on the proton pack either. You can't put it on the side or anything like that, so it's just a loose piece. And you only get 1 of them with the sets. You also get yourself some walkie-talkies. You get 2 walkie-talkies. And let me just grab Egon here for example. When I put these together, I put the minifigures and I put Ecto-1 together, and I saw the walkie-talkies, the first thing I thought was, okay, I probably won't use it as a walkie-talkie, but I wonder if I could take it and flip it around and have it more like a PKE meter. Unfortunately, though, of course, the antenna is too skinny to fit in his hand, but kind of they had done something to make this more like a PKE meter, you know, versus, you know, just a walkie-talkie. And just get that into his hand, like so. Put that down. You get yourself also a brick lifter, very crucial when you're putting together pieces. And then that brings us to the Ecto-1, which is just an absolutely beautiful piece. Now the reason why this is such a soft spot for Spot here was that when I was younger, I used to have Lego. Like, Lego was my thing. I had G.I. Joes and I had Transformers, but like Lego was the thing I always seemed to go back to. And whenever I went to my parents' friends' houses, and you know, the parents would always say, bring something with you that can keep you occupied. And I'm sure probably a lot of kids my age, or maybe kids nowadays, your parents will tell you that too. Bring something with you that can keep you occupied. And the one thing that I always brought with me, no matter what, to these people's houses was always Lego. I had a big bucket of Lego. Maybe you guys can have had similar experiences. And I always brought that with me, and I would build things. And the one thing I always built was Ghostbusters stuff. And granted, you know, Lego back then didn't have like the printing that they do now, and they don't have all the really neat accessories. So like when it came to the Ghostbusters stuff, and I kid you not, Spot had like I think it was like the astronaut guys with like the little insignias in the corners of their pouches. I had those guys, and I didn't have proton packs, but I had like the archers holders that held the arrows, and I think I even used like the spears as the proton wands. But like I was always making Lego Ghostbuster stuff, and I wish, obviously it's been many, many years, but Spot doesn't have the Ecto-1 that I built, but I would always build an Ecto-1, and I had the Ghostbusters kind of driving in and, fighting ghosts in Lego style. So like this is just an absolute soft spot in my heart, because like I grew up building these things myself. To certainly no scope that what we see right here. I mean, this piece is so beautiful. I just love it. On the front, it says Ecto-1, New York. And it also carries over onto the back there, Ecto-1. There's the Ghostbuster logo on the back, Ghostbuster logo on the side. Now the thing is, the doors don't open. My doors open when I made my Ecto-1, but again, my Ecto-1, by this comparison to this one here, is really crude. But it doesn't have any opening doors. I kind of wish like the back section could have opened, that you could have put the proton packs in. It can't do that. But it's still a really, really beautiful piece. Now to get inside of it, you have to take this piece away. And this piece kind of becomes problematic because it's got like a spring to it. If you tuck it sometimes underneath the hood, underneath the roof I should say, sometimes it pops the roof because it's got so much tension, I guess, so much spring to it. But you're going to take that and then kind of just reach at the top and pull the whole roof section off. Just put that to the side. And on the inside, there is an area where it can fit, I guess, one Ghostbuster driving, one Ghostbuster there, and then one Ghostbuster kind of like right here in the console area. It's like a little computer console, which is really a neat touch. But there's a back section where you can take the proton packs, but like to put them on there, they don't actually fit very well because like they're going to sit higher than the roof would allot them for. And you can kind of just push the pressure down on them, but I don't want to also warp those hoses either. You could also, too, take that clip that I showed you earlier, take that clip right off, like so, and then you have at least a flatter proton pack that you could tuck underneath here and just kind of lay it down. But you wouldn't be able to hold all four of them without, putting them in here and only having two spots for the Ghostbusters. But you could do that technically if you wanted to. It's also really neat how they did the side windows, because when you're building Lego, sometimes you really can't gauge how something is going to turn out. You're putting it together and you're like, I don't even know where this piece is going to go, because essentially like this window area is just basically like a house window, a house window, a house window, and then you put in pieces in between it. And I'm like, I don't know how this is going to work, but then you take the pieces and you angle them, and they snap into these little clips here. So the windows end up being angled, and it gives you the impression of a door window. Again, that's a really neat touch. But when you get the Ghostbusters in fact, let's take Ray and put him into the driver's side, like so. And let's take Winston. Let's have Winston actually in the computer area here, like so. And then you can take the cover and just snap it into place. And it's only going to connect in two areas. Two pegs in the front, and then the other area in the back, and it'll just clip into the back like that. And then you have to take this hose and just run it, just kind of tuck it underneath this area right here. Kind of like that. And then the other side, take the ladder and fold it down. But there you have the Ecto-1. There's Ray in the front. Hi, Ray. Hi. Again, it's just such a beautiful looking piece. It's not perfect, but I think the pros definitely outweigh the cons. I think the Ecto-1 looks better than whatever negative critiques I could have about this set. Kind of things I'm not too crazy about. I don't really, again, like Peter Venkman's hairstyle. I think I probably will just stick with this hairstyle, raised for the time being. Kind of also wish that we had gotten like a Slimer, like a little ghost or something that could have been, even like a little Slimer that could have sat on top or something like that. But like now seeing it in hand, it is a really beautiful piece. And there's the underside of it. Build time took me probably about maybe an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I wasn't like I wasn't dedicated at completely building it, you know, in a record time. But it was a fun build while I was watching. I think I was watching TV while I was putting the set together. It rolls very easily. Tires have no problems whatsoever. I also like how the side fins come together. How it's two angular pieces, and they go the opposite way. But then you take the white piece and you flip it so that it goes up this way, and then the red piece goes this way. So again, it gives you that indication of the fins on the back of Ecto-1. If you are a Ghostbuster fan, again, like this is such a great set. Spots mentioned, it's not perfect. It has a few hiccups. I'm not super crazy with like the proton packs. I kind of wish that they had been a little more complete looking. Like the Ghostbusters, kind of wish we got maybe a ghost or two. But like the real money for this set is Ecto-1. I just wish, and I say this probably a lot, but I just wish that this was around when I was younger. Because when I was younger, I was building this, just not to the level that Lego was able to do it. So just an absolute gorgeous, gorgeous piece. It actually also, too, I think between this and the DeLorean, both equally good sets, and it's so interesting to see like where Lego has come from, where initially we had the Lego yellow little Lego men, and then I think the only set that they really did was like the space and the pirates and then the knights. Lego has come a long way that I wouldn't even dreamed as a kid that we would ever get like, you know, Lego Ghostbusters sets. This set is now currently available at Toys R Us. You could probably find it other places too, but like Toys R Us is the place where I found it. Would I recommend it? Absolutely. You know, if you're a Lego fan, if you're a Ghostbuster fan, either of those, this is a great set to get. Today's collectible spot, we were having a look at the Lego Ghostbusters Ecto-1 set. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more collectible spots heading your way. Certainly thanks for watching, as you always do. I'll see you guys next time.